slices of bread can you get in a loaf of bread?
Yeah, it's an
This is
important
good
question.
content right here. Oh, I got a whole lot of images of French toast. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. All right, here it is. Here it is. Taste of Home from January 14th, 2020. Let's go.
Okay.
This is top tier. Oh, how big is a typical slice of bread? See, I didn't even think. See, now we're going deep.
No,
We're going
I need
down
to
the
know
rabbit
how
hole
many
here.
slices I'm getting from a loaf.
It's gonna be through 6 paragraphs of stuff. I gotta figure it out.
Is it not just? They're not just like a
I have,
Google.
no, I have a
Google
recipe.
answer.
Oh, I have an ad. Enter your email below to get your recipe of the day.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How
Hopefully it doesn't require that
many
much bread.
slices in a loaf of bread? See, this is easy. I'm just gonna look at the top thing. Oh no. Okay, so you get more like 10 sandwiches out of a loaf of bread. There's like 20 slices.
Easy.
Yeah.
So you get 10 sandwiches plus the meats, and you get like what 4?
Well,
four
meats
slices of meat.
are pretty
Cheese on
expensive
there.
though. Like and depending on how much meat you're putting on, if you're putting 4 slices, what? How much are you getting per? How many sandwiches are you making with your meat?
See, that's I get the Lando Lake, Land of Frost, whatever it is. It's like $5 a change for a whole pound. And I'll get like ham and I'll get the turkey. So it's
Pound
about
is 16
$10
ounces, serving is 2 ounces, right? So
Sure.
and
I put 2 slices of this and 2 slices of that.
okay, so you're using 2 separate kinds of meat.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you gotta differ it up. You can't just have a ham
so
sandwich.
so you're spending $10 on that, right?
On the meat. We'll just round it.
$10 on the meat. We'll say, you know what, just to make it easy, we're gonna say that $10 of meat gets you the 10 sandwiches, right? So you're paying like $1 of meat per sandwich, or maybe $1.50, somewhere in that range. I'm thinking
$1.50 per sandwich. You think
of meat? Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
You're
I
paying
can
at
make
least. You're paying. No. Meat is very expensive, dude. That's why I've been thinking hard about this kind of stuff. Because welcome to Table Talk Friday, guys. Because Drew and I were having a conversation before about lunches, and I was saying how the place that I work gets things half off, and it's really nice. And he was like, "No, I would never spend that much." So I'm trying to figure out how much Drew's lunch costs, which is just a sandwich.
If I had to just absolutely guesstimate, just random number, I'm thinking $1.50.
So
$1.50.
That's if you're eating the exact serving size, which everybody's eating more serving size of the meat than, like, I think a serving size is like 2 slices of meat. So
I guess I'm doing double, but I have double meat.
Doubling it, yeah, but double meat costs $10. We already said this. So
yeah, but it lasts so long, forever.
It doesn't. It only lasts like a maximum of like 2 weeks.
It's a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, we're back at the same thing. Yeah, about 10 sandwiches, which gets us to $1 per sandwich, which is what I said at the beginning of the podcast. You've just confirmed.
No.
What I said for me.
I'm gonna sit here off the air where I could sit here and do math for about 15 minutes because I'm gonna butcher it and make sure I get my sandwich because it's the exact same sandwich every day.
Okay, but you're eating cheese too, right?
Sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes cheese.
I'm not a cheese boy.
Okay, do you put mayonnaise or anything on it?
Sometimes if I have mayo, I'll put mayo on it. But sometimes I just don't want mayo.
So if I on my half off Subway sandwich just for the sandwich, which is a full on sub with all the toppings I could want, I can add whatever I want to it, right? $3, $3 for just that, and then the extra stuff was just the value stuff that you can add. If you do the value, it gives you the chips and the drink, right?
But for $2 more, I can get all that meat that I need. Right?
No, you're not even letting me finish. Okay, I can get that, or I can have a plain sandwich with 2 slices of bread for like this almost the same price, like maybe not even a whole $1 difference. I can have my full sub, big sub, just chock full of everything I want. That's gonna fill me up and give me nutrition because it's got a bunch of veggies in it. It's gonna fill me up calorie wise because I'm a big runny boy. All of that, or I can have 2 slices of white or wheat, whatever you're using, with 4 slices of turkey plain.
Do people still eat white bread? Is that still a thing people do?
White bread's really good for making French toast, but we do not. We use this like fancy, it's like the fancy like multi-grain bread, but it tastes kind of sweet, and I really like that it tastes kind of sweet.
Like the Hawaiian bread kind of stuff?
No. It's like just one of those big. I want to show you the package so bad, but I don't want to walk out of the room to get it. It's like a bigger
bread nearby.
It's like a bigger loaf where they're like I think, are like 110 calories each. The typical loaf or slice of bread is like 70 calories. So
With some thick bread.
it's thick bread. It's very thick, but it's so good, dude. We use it constantly. It's great. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this is the topic of the day.
all I'm trying to justify for you is my lunch is not hardly any more expensive than yours.
I'm gonna do the math. I'm gonna do the math. I think it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper, and
Yours
even 30
probably
cents
is
cheaper. 30 cents cheaper.
30 cents cheaper for quality wise. Your quality of life is so much better.
Not looking for quality. I'm looking for dirt cheap sustenance to get me through the day.
If you wanted that, then you would just eat 2 slices of bread with peanut butter only on it, and that would be it every day.
Sometimes to reduce cost, I do swap to a PB&J.
Because what's throwing you off price wise is the meat. The meat is the thing that's super expensive. If you were like, hey, I'm saving every single penny I possibly can, just peanut butter sandwiches 3 meals a day. That's all you got to do.
Well, I don't want 3. I'm looking for easy lunch. Easy lunch. I like to have a little bit more for dinner.
Okay.
You know? So I cheap out lunch, and I usually don't eat breakfast. And then for dinner, I have a nice meal with my wife. We have like a nice, nice
I know. I lived with you guys for a while. I know the kind of meals you have. They were very good. They were very good.
I'm excited to do this math. I'm gonna do this math off screen, and I'm gonna come back next week, and I'm gonna have a report for you ready to go.
That's great. I'm very excited to hear what your sandwich cost is every day. I'm not even. You know what? I'm not gonna ask more questions. We got to get into topics and stuff because I'm exhausted, Drew. New job this week. You've had a lot going on. I know we both came into this tired. You had a bunch of technical difficulties. I just want to talk to my boy and hang out. So we had a lot of things happen over the last few weeks, did we not?
Oh yeah.
We did. I came home and we hung out so much. And by so much, I mean we hung out 2 days in a row for many hours. And it was awesome. It was the whole group of us. And the first day, we did our Christmas one-off. Something that we've been looking forward to for so long. We had my wife playing in it. We had one of my best friends from when I worked at the Ninja Gym playing in it. And it was a great session. One that definitely didn't go for 5 hours after I think you said air. I think you said on air, you were like, I promise guys, this one's not going to be a 5-hour one. I planned it. I made sure it wouldn't.
You're taking me entirely out of context. I said this won't be 6 hours. Is
you
what
did
I said.
not. You said 5.
No. It wasn't 6 hours. Okay, and it was barely 5. I was so on track the entire time. I did not expect the boss fight to be a 2-hour thing. All right.
It was not barely 5. It was like 5 hours and 15 minutes because I pointed out to you when we hit 5. But when we hit 5 hours, I looked at you and said, someone told me this one wasn't going to be 5 hours.
There's a rule that I live by. It's 1 through 4 stay on the floor, okay? So if it's 15 minutes, that's a quarter of an hour. So that's 5.25, right? So it rounds down to 5 hours. That's barely 5 hours. Okay. I'm just saying. I was very proud of myself. I think this was one of the better one-offs.
Oh, it was great. It was amazing.
I'm very glad because I had included some mechanics and some things that I wasn't sure. And frankly, I had fleshed out like 9 locations. I wasn't sure what you guys would do, and I was super stressed. And you guys went to 2 of them. And it was like the 2 places I was most prepped to run. So it was perfect.
That's good because I actually felt like So in the middle of the session, like someone said, we should go to this location. And in my head, I'm thinking, Santa's workshop, that's where I want to go. And where everybody said to go was like the right locations. And I was like, how did you guys think of that? And they were like clock tower, time things happening, obviously. And I was like, why did I not think of this? I'm sitting here completely confused as to what's going on. But it's because I was so focused on playing as 1Decimo.
1DC. What a crazy idea for a Christmas one-off character. Let's go Fairly Odd Parents and pick just like the most rizzed up fairy.
I just wanted to be a fairy, honestly. Like I was like, I just want to be a fairy. It sounds fun. And fairies are like mystical Christmassy creatures, right? And so
yeah, it makes sense to me.
And so I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna be one, because I knew I wanted to play a bard multi-class again, like Farmer Jensen. And so I was like, I want to play a bard multi-class, and Gabby also played a bard multi-class, so we were back to back with that. So I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna be the most beefy bard there's ever been. and
you were quite beefy.
Yeah, no, it was a ton of fun. It was a great session. I wanted to just kind of like recap it here a little bit on the show, not really go too much in depth, but more so just like what we got out of it. So kind of setting the scene, our little group was at a Santa's like a Christmas party where Macaulay Culkin was giving a speech, kind of being like, "Hey, Merry Christmas! There's only 15 minutes left," and Drew puts a timer down on the table and starts it. Now, I highly incentivize another DM to do this, where you just set a timer down in front of your players and start it, because we all were like doing introductions and stuff like that, but I kept bringing the timer up where it'd be like, "Oh man, only 9 minutes till Christmas, huh? Nothing could go wrong." and
And I appreciate that you kept it up because you did produce that pressure right off the bat in the intros, and the intros could take a long time to do. I wasn't going to time everybody for the intros, but I think you were really glazing it on the top, like, oh guys, we only got 3 minutes. We have four
well,
people got to introduce
it's
themselves.
because you said the 15 minutes, and I didn't know you were gonna pull your phone out and set it down, so I pulled my phone out and I set it down on the table and just started running the timer because I thought it was funny. And little did I know you actually had mechanics for the 15 minutes. um, and so we sit down, and when the 15 minutes hit zero, a time loop ensues, and now we're on the clock because our characters are forgetting things that are happening as it happens. The more it happens, the more we remember. But we're starting to forget things. So my character is like the only one that's oblivious, as everybody else is getting blips and stuff here. And him being a womanizer, I'm just like repeating all of the things that had happened before. Where in there, I'm just like, what are you guys even talking about, dude? Nothing's going on. um, and so my experience with this session was extremely good. So props to you, Drew, for the fun mechanics, because I think you added a lot of like really cool things into there that I'll let you delve into a little bit. For me, I had a new experience as a player, as someone who doesn't get to play that often. And the new experience was I haven't been used. I want to play like beloved characters, and it's my first time playing a Patrick style character where I play them and everybody goes like the second that I start talking, because I made a very dislikable upon like meeting them character, like at face value, very dislikable. By the end though, because my whole goal was like to make people kind of like this character, like see them as like a part of the team. And by the end, I think I got there, where I do think that by the end of the session, everybody was like, "Damn, that was pretty good. That was a good character."
You definitely had like the eye roll energy the whole time, like, God, this guy again. It was perfect. I think you played it really well, being beloved but also hated by everybody. Very akin to Sean's preppy wizard Chalathander.
Or Chad for short.
Oh, he was terrible. He was so mean to everybody is the thing. You were just trying to get love, man. You were just trying to,
Yeah.
be someone's friend. Chalathander was, oh God, he was just mean to everybody.
So
But real, it was a very, very good character. I enjoyed you playing him.
thank you, thank you. I think what really did the beloved part, right? There was a moment in the session where we're trying to figure out what's going on, and everybody was like, "Hey, do you think since you're a fairy and you could fly all the way like to the top of this area that we're in?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll go for it." And you had brought in this skill check where I'm flying like through the clouds and it's getting colder and colder and I'm starting to freeze over. And I think that moment where I like started using all my stuff and I was like, I the tiger, I'm going through it. It's the cream of the fight. And I'm flying up through these clouds. And I think that was the moment where everybody was like, "This is good and this is really funny."
Oh, it was a really good moment. I'm glad you had that. And I wish more than anything you had played in Theros with Sean, because that's where I got the inspiration for that skill check. He had my character swimming through the river Styx. And when
Ooh,
if I had failed the skill check, I was going to lose all of my memories. And I passed the two and I failed on the last one and I lost all of my memories.
that's
And
crazy.
it was so cool. I was like, oh, that's what we're gonna do right here. And I felt pretty. That was very Seth mode. I was like, on the fly, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do the skill challenge right here. And you kicked butt. You did good. You used a lot of your resources that I wasn't expecting to,
Yeah.
and
So my
especially your crystal or frozen abs. That's really what helped me out the rest of the way.
Oh my god, the fact that you were like, "You're freezing over, how are you gonna get through it?" And I said, "I ripped my shirt off."
So much warmer.
I'm so
The
much
heat
warmer.
intensifies.
Because for the audience, the magic item I had come up with, because we were all making our own magic items, let me cast shield by ripping my t-shirt off, because it was just a white t-shirt. And so I can cast shield by ripping my clothes off. And so I did that while I was flying through and trying to keep myself warm.
Truly, truly one of a kind item, I would say. Shirt of returning, or whatever we choose to name it in the long run, is beautiful.
I actually got the idea. So there's a character in an RPG called Sea of Stars that Gabby and I have been playing. And there's a character where you go to arm wrestle him and he grabs his shirt and throws it, like rips it off. He's like a little tiny skinny like buccaneer type guy. He just
Yeah.
rips his shirt off and he just grows in size and gets like massive like bulging muscles. And then
He's a cool dude.
he arm wrestles and kicks ass in it. And so I got the idea like for the magic item from that, where I was like, I want to rip my shirt off and do something, because he's just a normal dude, but he literally had a magical shirt that he could rip off and temporarily become buff.
My God. I don't know why I find it hysterical that the shirt of all things is the magic item. You think it'd be like, a piece of jewelry that enhances you, but no, it's literally a piece of cloth that you pull off of you and somehow gives you magic. I think maybe like the shirt contains the magic, and as you rip it, it's like drinking a bottle, like you're consuming it.
Yeah.
Energy is just like pulsing out.
Like
Is
the
what it
shirt
is.
holds the magic in.
Yeah, like you're like, what is it? I'm thinking like a glow stick where you break it and like it all lights up. It's like the second you break it, that's where all the energy comes out.
Yeah, I
I
like
think that's
that.
super cool. I should have had that as Gordo. I should have had Gordo wear a t-shirt.
Oh yeah. Slime with the t-shirt.
Fine with you. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. But no, the character was great. I think we had a lot of good characters too.
Oh yeah.
Chase's Blicky the elf with the shotgun.
He was so funny in the way that Chase, as a player, right? I hope everybody has this kind of player at their table. And that is the person who just says things dryly. And like you could tell his idea was elf with a shotgun, right? Like
Mhm.
elf with a double barrel shotgun. But he said, my favorite line from him was him walking up to Jack Frost, who is on the ground. And he goes, "All right, I'm gonna put my gun up to his head and go kablamo." Like that's still my favorite line from him the entire session, just because his delivery of like kablamo was so like spot on.
I don't know how he does. I think he's just a master of timing and wordplay is what it is. He
He
just
has to
knows the
be.
prime moment to say just the right thing. It's you ever hear like like the theory where if like you like touch someone like the right spot like on their neck or something, they'll bark like a dog, or
Yeah.
like they'll poop themselves or something. I think Chase has that ability with words. Like he's like if I say this word right now, it's got optimal. Like he's always running like a scan. He's got his stock trading on the side screen at all times, ready to go. He just knows how to hit it the max.
Oh my god, if you guys want more Chase conversation, I have conversation for the post show, which is going to be recorded right after this, that you can get on patreon.com/table talk Friday. But so to preface, there was one, Gabby brought up the other day that she wanted to play Magic with Chase again because of some things he was doing that were really funny. And then likewise, Chase and I were playing Battlefield the other day and had about 2 hours of troubleshooting we had to do because his computer broke on him in front of him.
No. In the middle of Battlefield?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it in the post show.
God.
So more on D&D. I am curious what you want to like divulge about, like other locations, ideas you had that you didn't really get to delve into too much, or like your cool mechanics that you ran into both in the combat and with like your time loop stuff. So just like, whatever you want to talk about as far as like what you did for planning this session, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'll give you a little something sums. In case it wasn't clear and I kind of left it up to the imagination, but the way the snow was falling, the way like the earth was shaking, right? That was Jack Frost at the end of every time loop shaking the snow globe
Oh,
and
I
resetting
did
it.
get that. I did get that.
So he was shaking and kind of resetting the time loop for you guys. The idea was that you had been trapped. The North Pole had been trapped inside of this snow globe since it was shattered last year.
Yes.
When you saw the Grinch shatter the snow globe and the little puff of what you guys assumed to be Krampus fly out, Krampus was stuck in here and he reversed it. So you guys broke the snow globe and then stuck you guys in it. So for the rest of the year, you guys were just living your life, right? Doing your North Pole things. It makes sense everyone's making their toys, right? No one's the wiser until the day of, where Jack Frost needs now time to continue. So he's just continuously resetting you so that you'll keep living your perfect Christmas Eve night.
So I like to think as well, maybe this is just my own headcanon, that the reason, like some of us were characters that I don't think maybe live at the North Pole. Maybe we visit on occasion. I like to think that maybe there was a little bit of like memory manipulation or something going on. Like as soon as all this happened, it was like we had our whole year, and now it's just that next time. Like when that spell goes off, it's like, whoop, and basically a year passes for all of us, and we all just assume we did our whole year. Like we have like made up memories or something.
I was curious if you guys would start diving into like historical facts or like, where have I been or thinking about what you've done. And I think if you had gotten there, I was going to start tweaking it like something's not right, you can't remember things. Because you did have this time, but it passed weird and Jack Frost is controlling the time and
Yeah.
so not everything would have been perfect. You are in this sort of simulation, but it wasn't fake, if that makes sense. Things were still being done, like the toys were still made within the globe, right? He wanted you to think that nothing was wrong until you couldn't do anything, which is where I thought the timer came in. So I was inspired actually by Chase's one-off that he did recently, his first ever one-off, I believe, first thing he's ever run.
Coincidentally, also a time loop.
Also time loop. And so he was running. I was like, man, we haven't done a time loop in a while. But time loops are sort of a staple in D&D sessions, I feel like. Like you have to have at
In
least one
fantasy in
time loop that
general.
you've gone through. Yeah, it's just sort of, like when you watch a TV show and they have like their tropes. Like there's the one episode where they recall everything, they go through the shots, or like there's the episode where they do the time loop, or there's the episode where the person does the double party where they're actually two places at once and they're running to the bathroom 8 times. You have to like hit those staples. And I was thinking we are 5 years into the Christmas one-off, and I want to hit like the big ones. It's like, well, why not do the time loop this year? This is perfect. This is the prime time. So we'll knock it out now. We'll have a blast, but we'll go a little crazy. We'll just put some mechanics in there that are sort of weird, which is a simulation, a 15-minute timer, which frankly I thought might ruin the game. But in the same sense, I was thinking it could be perfect because my games always run long. And if my games are always running long and I could put some extreme pressure on you guys while you're playing, it might speed things up. And it did. And it was perfect. And I killed it.
You
So
did for the
very, very
first two
happy.
hours where we got through the whole story in those 2 hours, and then combat took us 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we had talked afterwards, and I had included a mechanic for the ice behemoth that Jack Frost was controlling, where his AC was 28. And when you guys first swung and missed with a 25, everyone's jaws dropped, which is what I was hoping for. What no one did was look, or it bugged me a little bit. I wish I had run it a little bit differently, but I don't know how differently I would have run it. I wanted everyone to kind of look around and use the resources. And I kept calling out to specifically Patrick's character, Mrs. Claus. I was like, your husband's close. Oh, he's nearby. Oh, you're making saves with advantage because he's within maybe 30 feet of you. Oh, right over there, frozen in that block. But no one was looking around, and I was upset no one looked. But I think I could have played it differently. I just don't know what I would have done.
So two things. One is I think with Patrick, you just have to make it painfully obvious. Is you have to be like, hey, you can do the things you want to do. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to tell you no. But Mrs. Claus, you feel the power of love about 20 feet behind you. In this direction, you ping it on the map.
I think that would have been hysterical because I said he was close. But I was like, yeah, he's close, maybe within 35 feet. I don't know. That's just a random number.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing I had thought of was when I did things like shattering on it. Maybe that's a good moment to like actually just lower the AC a bunch, being like, oh, you cast shatter on this big thing made of ice. It starts to crack all over. It doesn't look like it lost a ton of health or anything, but it looks a little like there's some like weak spots. You might be able to hit it easier. Something like that.
I like to have depth to the monsters, really, usually the bosses. I try to make the fights as creative as possible so they're not just like big bullet sponges.
Oh, it was super cool.
And with this one, so I did allow the shatter to do double damage because he was like a siege machine of sorts.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. I had also put a mechanic in where if you guys weren't getting the crystals, you could also melt his AC down with certain amount of fire damage. But no one did any fire damage. So there was no fire damage.
I don't know if anybody was packing any fire damage.
I don't think so. I thought about mentioning it, but I was going to say to Zach, because he was a wizard type character, that he should bring some sort of fire. But his flavor for like his sand spells, because he played the Sandman, was so prime, and I didn't want to take him into that flavor. I thought if I told him to bring fire, it would have pulled away from his theme. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to tell him. If this is going to be hard, it's going to be hard. That's just how it is. I didn't pull any punches, except for when I forgot to use his freaking battlefield action in the third round. But I went hard on you guys, and you guys did well, even without taking out without reducing his AC with fire, without doing too much critical damage with the shatter, and without breaking any of the crystals that would have reduced his AC all the way down to 10.
I thought what was super cool that you let happen was when Zach decided he was going to teleport inside of the monster. And you were like,
Crazy. I cannot believe he
oh,
did
you want
that.
to go like inside of it, and you did it, and he went inside of it, and it changed the game for the whole encounter. Where it was like, oh, now we just have to support him while he does everything from the inside.
And he was kicking Jack Frost's butt.
Yeah,
He was just
it was
kicking his
really
butt in
cool.
there.
It
I cannot believe he even thought of that, of going inside of the glacial behemoth that I'm thinking I would want to run away from. I made him huge so you guys would like mobilize and try to get away from him. But he just went right in,
Well, it's
head
funny
first.
because you had me always on top of him. You had Zach inside of him, and you had everybody else just surrounding him. You're like, oh, I want you guys to go everywhere, and we're all just on him, like going just inside the entire time. No, it was awesome. The whole thing was awesome. We even like talked about it afterwards, where everyone was like, dang, that was just a good time, especially that everyone was like able to be together in the same room except for Sean, and I felt really bad. So if you guys are ever running a virtual player, just try to like have a really nice setup, because I feel like this time it was a weaker setup for us where like we had it going, but it was really hard for Sean to hear when more than one person would talk at one time. And I felt bad because I was like, I feel like he's not as involved this year because he can't hear us that well. And I wanted him to be more involved.
I mean, obviously, in-person sessions are always the best, but it feels sometimes particularly bad when you feel like you're excluding one person. And you try to include them as much as you can. You try to like, give them a little extra moment to say something, or even diverting people's attention so they're paying attention to what they have to say. But it feels you feel a little yuck, a little rotten.
And I'll say, from having been on the side, like I don't know if you've been on the virtual side while everyone else is in person. I've been there once or twice, I think a couple of times. I've been there where I have a really hard time focusing because I'm on this end. Like there was one time where I ended up on I don't know if I was on my phone or if I was just trying to like install files on my Steam Deck or something, because like something was going on and I couldn't hear anything. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna do this for a few minutes, I guess, because my brain's hurting trying to pay attention.
And there's only so much you could do, and you don't
Yeah,
want to, pull away from everyone else's fun. So it's
yeah,
like, well, I guess I'll
exactly.
just do it quietly. But maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of better setup we could do.
We had
I
it.
just don't
We
know
had
what
it
I just
before.
don't know what it is.
I
Yeah,
think
we're all in
Sean.
person.
Yeah, Sean. When everybody was in person except for Sean, we had a good setup every week that we did, where I felt like he was extremely included because we had a whole thing just for him. We had a camera that was only for him.
I
um.
miss that. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it was a
But
blast.
but hey, this year being able to have most of the people in person was huge. We had started that way. The first couple, two, three, maybe two Christmas one-offs were, I think, pretty memorable,
Oh yeah.
and it was really nostalgic and feel good in the moment with everybody and like the props and everything like that. And then we went digital. I think it definitely took something away
Yeah,
from the sessions.
2 years ago for the Christmas one off, I had to leave because I was like, I have a strict cutoff at this time. And then we went like 10 minutes past the time, and I was like, okay, my cutoff is 10 minutes over. I have to like get up and run now to get to my destination on time. Because I had plans, like I think it was like 4 hours later I had plans, and then we hit that point and I was like, guys, I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Which really, I mean, I blame you. It was only a 7-hour session, so I don't see why you can't be there for the whole time.
Yeah, it was a really long one.
It
So
did. It did run long, that one. That was especially long.
And then last year was, I thought it was good. It was just it was a little bit difficult because there were so many people plus virtual. You know what I mean? So it was like 8 people going around combat plus virtual. I felt like this year, since even though we had 7 people, it was more manageable
Because it was in person,
because
and
it
I
was in
think
person.
we had played with just about everybody except your friend Yancey,
Yes, he was the
because
only
we had
one who
already played with
we,
everybody, even Emily, which Emily wasn't here this year, but everybody we've already played with, and Yancey did a fantastic job
I
at the
know.
table.
And he even said, he was like, yeah, I've never really played before. I just kind of wanted to play. And it was like a last minute thing because we were all hanging out on Christmas Eve. And I was like, yeah, this is what we're doing in a few days. If like you want to stop by or anything. And he goes, is it like a one shot? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, can I play? And I was like, let me ask. And so I texted you right then, and you were like, oh, that's gonna be a lot. And I was like, hey, worst case, I literally had an idea for like a two-headed ogre or something that Gabby and I could play together. Like we like in multi-class, maybe we each take one class and we're just doing like 2 different level 4 characters at the same time.
I kind of love that. I feel like it would be a good just like first taste of D&D, but I wonder if it would be too confusing for the first time.
Well,
Which
so
I say it for a player that played for the first time at level 8 with 7 people for a Christmas one of all
so
things.
we
But
we made that character in less than an hour too.
that's
He
crazy.
I
That's
said
crazy.
what kind of Christmas character would you want to play? And he was like Gingy from Shrek. And I said, "Okay, that's easy enough." And I was like, "That's easy enough." I could see Gingy being like, I said, "There's some easy classes that we can make for you right now that I think you'll understand really easy." And I gave him I was like, "I can make an easy fighter for you, a monk, which is just like punchy hitty, and then a rogue. Like those are all ones that I could sit down with you and level you up right now and just tell you what you can do." And he was like, "Monk sounds fun." And I said, "Perfect." And I
Yeah.
literally sat there. I took him to the subclasses and I said, "Here's all your options." And I read him through the ideas. And he goes, and I said, I said, "This one is Gingy with a cloak." And he was like, "Oh, I like that, like dark Gingy or something." And I was
Oh,
like,
dude.
perfect. And so we did that. And he was a level 8 shadow monk and he played all of his mechanics perfectly. Like I
Yeah.
was
Here's the wall.
I couldn't believe that he was doing as well as he was because all he did was use screenshots from the app that I used to build his character for him. And
He picked it up. He
yeah,
really did.
and he did
He used
voices.
Shadow Step. If it and the voice, oh my God. I was immediately taken back because there are people that play for like years and don't do voices because they're not comfortable. He immediately stepped to the table with 6 other people, some of which he had never met, right? And just goes, "Yeah, I was like, what? This is like immediately matched the energy. I think they were one of the last people to like introduce themselves.
Yeah,
Completely matched the energy of the table. It's like, oh no, everyone's being a goof. I'm gonna be a goof too.
I think it's because they were one of the last people to introduce themselves, and so he had already seen me like lean back and be like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" And then on top of that, like you had Gabby's character, who again, I highly encourage anybody listening to try something like this. Played a character that speaks in subtitles, so she had
Oh my
my
God.
Christmas bell from when I was a kid, like the Polar Express bell, and she would jingle it, and then she would just say in subtitles what she said. And that was how she communicated with us, and it was so funny. She was a jester elf, a jelf.
Joe.
That was the idea. Is she was like, "Oh, I want to play a jelf," and I was like, "What the hell?" And
When she
so
said Jelf, I had to keep like, what is it? It's a jester. Oh, Jelf. That's right, Jelf.
yes, and she killed it. She killed it with that idea because in guess what? Can you believe the first person to take knock in almost a decade of us playing together was my wife playing a jelf? And it came in
Immediate
handy.
inspiration.
She asked me when we were doing character creation with Yancey. She was like, "Should this spell knock? Should I take it?" And I was like, "If anyone's gonna want you to use it, it would be Drew. So yes," is what I said.
I don't care what happens. Every session I run, there's always the ability to use knock. If you say you want to cast knock, we can work it out. You want to like, I don't know, you want to open I ran a farm one off recently, right? If you said you wanted to open the engine of the tractor to get into the core, sure, you can knock in there. That works for me. Just anything you do, anything you can get into, you can use knock for. It's the perfect spell. And
and
immediate inspiration.
and you have to play Baldur's Gate 3 for that reason because knock is actually useful.
Knock is always useful, I'll have you know.
Yeah. It's always useful. So, so I think that's about wrapped up Christmas one-off conversation. Very, very fun time. I wanted to. I don't know if we've talked about Spelljammer finale too much on
Mm-mm.
the
Yeah.
podcast. And
This just happened. Like 2 days ago, this happened. It really was a couple weeks ago.
yeah, a couple weeks ago, we had our big finale of we did a giant dungeon which took 4 sessions, and then we did a one giant session finale of Spelljammer where the heroes did save the day. But I want to get your thoughts on one of our. This was a little campaign. It wasn't a big campaign, but like that whole thing ending.
I think Spelljammer as a whole. So I didn't know what to expect with Spelljammer. I know we had talked about it a little bit, and we had mentioned maybe it was going to be a little more whimsical, kind of. What is it? Which fair? God, what is it? The
Wild Beyond the
Firelight?
Witchlight.
That's what I was gonna say. Wild Beyond the Witchlight. To me, I thought it was gonna be kind of more whimsical, and then it turned to be a little more intense. And then, we had character death to deal with all of a sudden that we weren't ready. It really was a roller coaster of a. I guess a camp. I guess we call it
It was
campaign.
a
Yeah.
campaign.
how many sessions was Spelljammer?
I think it was 13, 12 or 13.
I feel like that's a good amount. Like I don't think we've ever run a campaign that short.
I mean, I've
I know
run.
you started. You started one with what Raven of the Rock, right?
Yep, that was 11 sessions, and Zach ran Curse of Straw, which was 13.
So I wasn't a part of either of those. So I feel like this was a good opportunity for me to jump into something that kind of fully wrapped up. Although we are going to continue with this. Theros and oh god, Syndra Luna. I think it's also shorter than that, but they're still actively going. So
Yeah.
somehow it felt a little different. I feel like we hit kind of like the pinnacle where we were supposed to be. But thoroughly loved all the characters. I liked the ability to wrap up our previous campaign as well, or I shouldn't say wrap up because there's more things to happen. But the next big staple of events in our overarching canon campaign lore, right? And now we're going into campaign 3 soon with even
Yes.
more ammo as we're in like this Halo ring. This what is it? The Sigil City of Doors.
So that's not campaign 3, obviously.
But it could be involved. We don't know.
Yeah, so Sigil is Planescape, so that's like multiversal, tons of stuff. To be frank, I just plan on making you guys like multiversal rangers because of reasons that I'll explain when we get there. But you guys are gonna have to solve some problems for these people because you caused them.
No, we haven't caused any problems. We're the Galapagos Guardians.
So yeah, it was super fun. How did you feel? Now, one thread that I had always planned was to not plan for there to be a fourth prism key. I never planned for there to be a fourth prism key. I never had a location for it ever. Because now you'll think this is kind of funny when I say it, but because in my headcanon, Mordenkainen had always kept the last like MacGuffin with him because at the right moment he was going to be the one to hand it over to Pyth, right? To the person who was going to cast the spell. Like he knew he was going to go out there and succeed, but at the right moment he would show up and give it. And
what a jerk!
The
what
reason
a jerk,
the reason
dude.
was for the whole thing was I only imagined it being like a closed chapter moment where like okay this thing is done and these two are basically finished now where he hands over that thing and it's like the father son Kamehameha thing from Dragon Ball where Goku's helping Gohan do his final Kamehameha. So Mordecai hands that over and you finish your spell and it works.
I felt so cheated when he gave it to me. I was like, oh, of course you get the final play. Of course you have the final piece of the puzzle because I'm just a little pawn in your big web of scheme.
Well,
oh.
you are actually going to find out why that is not true. Why this was Pyth's idea and not his.
Oh, okay.
Like basically Pyth was going to do these things and it was going to be out of his control, but he would at least be there in the last moment to be like, go ahead.
It makes me wonder as Pyth. So like he always had a terrible relationship with his dad because his dad was just terrible. And maybe I'll learn some more things about reasoning, but as far as I'm concerned and Pyth is concerned, this guy's a total jerkwad. And when he gave me the key to do like the pinnacle of what my character was destined to do, from my understanding, right? And just gave me that last push, I hated it because I don't want him, like I don't seek him, I don't desire him. I named my child the opposite of his name. Like it was such a big deal, and in the moment I feel like I could have played it differently. But I think back and I go, absolutely wouldn't have. That's exactly how Pyth would have. He would have been pissed. He would have hesitated. He would have been just absolutely stunned that this just happened. And the fact that this guy always has a step up. It's like, how? How do you always have a step up?
And in my head, Mordenkainen thinks of himself as like the hero here, right? He's gonna show up and save his son, and they're gonna be like happy father and son forever. And that's why he shot back at you whenever you were like what, why didn't you just give me this in the first place? What the heck is wrong with you? And then he's like, look son, don't look a gift horse in the mouth and now go out there and cast your fucking spell. Like whenever I responded with that, it was because I was like really getting into the Mordenkainen mindset, and I was like, man, he'd be really upset right now to hear that.
I wonder how I would have reacted to it if I was still Prime Pyth, like if I had been channeling all of Pyth's, ego and his heart and his soul, because it had been, a long time since I've played Pyth pretty seriously for a long term, right? I wonder if I would have done it differently, but I don't think so. I think it went really well. I think it was a great ending. And I love the fact that I'm still pissed at him,
Yeah.
even after all this time.
It I had a really good time with that finale. There was a big encounter. I don't think I introduced too many like crazy new mechanics or anything. We did have you guys fight against Prince Zeleth of the Xerixians and his dragon whose name is escaping me. I think no, Jiru, his adult solar dragon. And you guys were all level 6 fighting an adult solar dragon. Now, I had provided you many, many things to make sure that you were ready to fight an adult solar dragon. Um, Including the fact that you guys all had like really special magic weapons that were helping you out. I also had Princess Adali, the princess of the Xerixians. Now, everyone listening, these are the actual characters from the modules. So if you're interested in using them, get creative with it. I completely rewrote how I wanted their whole story to go and didn't use any of their maps. But Princess Adali, being on the good side, she gave you guys all an aura, which made you guys all have like way better checks, way better everything, add +5 to basically everything. Um, and she had a recharge ability that would heal everybody as like a mass healing word. Or a mass cure wounds.
You did it so well though with that aura because we needed the healing. I mean, right off the bat, the dragon hit us crazy hard, just like the last one did, to the point where it's like, okay, we need to reevaluate what we're doing now because we're all super low and the fight just started. We needed to be within that aura for healing, but we knew if we went within the aura of healing, we were grouping up for the dragon breath. So it was like,
but you also got resistance to it.
Yes, that's true, but I don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
And so I think some of us were thinking about it. Some of us were scattering, and some of us were staying nearby. I think the mobility and the strategic placement of the players was pretty prime in that one.
And something that I liked that I was able to do this time that I couldn't do in older campaigns was I actually got to showcase the other part of the fight happening on screen with you guys. So previously, I've had larger than life bad guys that you guys have fought against, but it's been you guys fighting kind of like their right-hand man and his god cronies, while two gods have to fight over there. You know what I mean? And you guys would see the god fight going on, but you wouldn't necessarily be a part of it. This time, you guys were fighting the big bad, which was awesome, but you guys also got to witness two of your NPC allies fighting and defending Pyth while he's casting this last giant spell. And they were more than capable of taking care of that problem on their own. Now, some of you guys went over there and helped out, which was awesome. But I did want it to be like, hey, there's two fights going on, you guys against the big bad, and these two over here fighting against a bunch of ads. Maybe one of them will get in danger, maybe someone will need help. But I wanted them to be more than capable of handling that by themselves.
And they were handling it pretty well. What had stressed me out, but I loved the dual fight. What had stressed me out was in the beginning you had mentioned that it was possible for them to overwhelm the bubble. And I'm like, oh God, we have to protect this bubble. And I don't know if you had a plan for like how they were going to break through, or if they were like spirit creatures that were just going to like phase through or not. But I was worried about it the whole time. Like, is one of these guys going to get through and just cancel this spell right now?
So my big plan, as it would be, was if the 4 like wraith creatures were able to get on top of the like force field or whatever and hit it like multiple times, then it would get weak and go down.
Okay. They really didn't get a chance to do nothing.
They did not get a chance to do any of that. So there was really no risk at that point, which was cool. But yeah, big final session. I was very happy with the way that everybody reacted the entire time, how much like it seemed like everybody was super stoked and excited the entire session, which was cool. And then for the big reveal at the end that I need everyone for our like continue journeys, which are going to be less of the whole group getting to play, less big overarching story, and more like little one-shot adventures for you guys to plan things and like continue on a little bit of the story and maybe get back to your home plane. From there, me revealing, hey, I need everybody to make 2 different characters and stuff like that. You're in Sigil, I need you to make 2 different characters because you guys are now switching with an echo of yourself.
Oh man, I have some great ideas I got to run by you for like this echo of Gordo, but I know Chase as well was also really stoked about it. So yeah. I think there's going to be some really cool ideas, not just to make a character like regular, but to make a character that you've already made differently.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever had that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It seemed like at first everybody was like a little bit confused, like, we have to do what? And then I was like, So I need you to make your character, but like again, just differently.
I
And
don't know if there's an easy way to explain that. And I think we were all equally confused, going, "What is he? What does he want?
yeah.
I'm making another Gordo."
So they do something similar in the Planescape module, which is you have like different levels of your same character doing different things, and you switch with echoes of yourself at different like stages. And so it's kind of similar, but I was like, no, I want completely different builds. Like I want it to be completely different to the point where like, yes, if you need your busters, if you want to have your buster swords on both your builds, that's fine with me. But if you switch and all your new character has is a crossbow, like cool, go for it.
Heck yeah. No, it's gonna be good. I'm really excited. I have to sit down and make it. I don't know when we're playing next, but I feel like I
Sunday,
need
but not Spelljammer.
yeah, I need some time to like prep this up, make sure it's good. Because now I have a beloved character, and everyone else at the table has these characters that they've grown to know, and so I don't want to shame his name or like overshadow him right with another character. So I had to find something kind of like on that level to go
Yeah,
with.
I think Spelljammer, like I think these characters will move on and we'll be able to keep playing them for a while. Just whether it be like repeated one shots or whether it be like I actually come up with a full on story that this one wraps up with. Because right now I have a plan for story, but it involves you guys going on a bunch of little missions.
I'm cool with that.
So
I like that. I think if we just do one-offs, it might, I don't know, feel like a regular one-off in a sense that you always need to kind of have one prepped. But I like the idea that we still have this sort of continuing story on the side when
yeah,
people aren't ready.
yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of the plan. And this whole like switching thing, I can make very easily have it be like, oh, when you switch this time, your character isn't able to like fully recover or something like that. Like they switch, but they need to rest or something. I mean, that's why
Yeah, it
this
makes
person
perfect
sits
sense.
this one out. So I think I'm excited to try out that mechanic. Let you guys go into it like with a brand new setting with like a brand new set of eyes, and especially because I have not had a lot of time to prep this yet. So I was like, I need weeks, but like I need to get into my new routine of new job and stuff before I can sit down and actually get it all prepped. But
Yeah.
good finale. I was very proud of it when we got there. I was like, oh, those 4 sessions into the 5th session being the finale were like a huge ramp going up, and then the roller coaster just shot down.
I know it wasn't what you had intended, but I think I completely agree that because it lasted so long and we're just in this dungeon forever, it really did ramp up the energy. It really created this sort of vibe of we got to get through this. We got to get through the big bad.
Yeah.
It really did. The finale was perfect. It was well played, sir.
Thank
Well
you.
played.
Thank you. And with that, thank you guys so much for listening to Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast where two best friends currently talk about D&D every week. So you can find more of us at patreon.com/Table Talk Friday, where we do post shows. We've got a lot of extra content on there that you can check out. So thank you guys for listening so much, especially Good Old Gamer, one of our most faithful patrons over on patreon.com/Table Talk Friday. But with that, I need for maybe Macaulay Culkin to take me out.
Everyone, it's me, one of the heads of the Leaping Lords here in the North Pole, and I just want to say, I hope you had a fantastic 2025. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to y'all.